And welcome to the United Stand. It's Manchester United derby. It's the Manchester derby against Man City on Sunday, and we are excited. And I tell you what, doesn't it feel great to have this feeling around Manchester United at the moment? This positive feeling, even though it may be short-lived, or hopefully it won't be, where we've gone and beaten one of the best teams in Europe, and everybody is sat down melting with bitterness. Can you taste those tears? They're full of salt. They're absolutely gutted. But as a United fan, screw that. That's great. And it reminds me of where we should be and what it should be like. I mean, you know, look at Liverpool, City, Chelsea. They probably get this feeling a few times a month. For us, it's been so long that we've had that feeling of smugness. You know, I got up this morning, I went into the co-op to get a bit of milk. I barged into this old fella to push in the line. He nearly fell over. I didn't even think anything about it. Normally I would have said sorry or waited, but I thought, nah, sod it. And as I turned around and he looked at me, I went, look at the badge, mate, Manchester United. And he went, sorry, it was all my fault. Paid for the milk, walked out. I nearly didn't even pay for the milk. I thought that might be a bit of a criminal act, so I didn't want to do that. But we feel good today. And it's a good feeling. And this is what it's like. This is what it's meant to be like as Manchester United fans. It was absolutely fantastic result for us last night. And look, whether you're Mourinho in or you're Mourinho out, does it really matter? Do you want that feeling to sap the enjoyment of today? What you are is a Manchester United fan, and if you're a Manchester United fan, that makes you feel you deserve today. It doesn't matter about your political stance. It doesn't matter whether you think Fellaini's shit or is the next Ballon d'Or winner. It doesn't matter if you think Ashley Young's a brilliant right back or you could do a better job yourself. The reality is, as Manchester United fans, we deserve that today. That's probably the best day we've had in the last 6 years. You know, there's a few competitors there. The Europa League final was obviously very good, but to go to Juventus and win like that, and let's not forget, if we'd won 2-1 and we'd park the bus for 20 minutes to win it, it's very different to being 1-0 down with 10 minutes to go and coming back and winning 2-1. So, look, the positivity's there, and I feel that we do need to take this positivity into the Manchester derby without question, because I tell you what, I think we're going to win the game. You know why I think we're going to win the game? Because I said this before. I said Juventus, Man City, nowhere to hide, massive games, really excited about them. Up until last night, a couple of hours before the game, I thought Juventus was unwinnable. Then I had this funny feeling. But with the City game, I always thought out of the two, that's the more winnable game because it's a Manchester derby. And in a Manchester derby, forget form. You know, so what? They beat Mark Hughes' bloody breadstick team 6-0, 6-1, and they beat Shakhtar next at home 6-0. So what? Who cares? You know, this is Manchester United in a Manchester derby. And when I look at Manchester City, I think, you know what? Brilliant system. But who's the best manager in the world for breaking a system down? It is Jose Mourinho. You know, whatever you think about what happens when we go to Brighton or West Brom or something like that, when it comes to actually dealing with the players, with the team system, he's quite good. And look, when I look at that Man City lineup against Southampton, Ederson in goal, De Gea's better. Walker, Stones, Laporte, Mendy. Well, all right, it's not a bad back four, but I'm not. You know, we're not in the era of bloody prime Vidic and Ferdinand, are we? So yeah, they can be got at definitely. Plus we've got Martial. Midfield 3, Bernardo Silva, Fernandinho and David Silva. Well, yeah, you're all, you know, okay. You know, it's good, but I'm not scared of it yet. And then up front, Sterling, Aguero and Sane. Well, Sane's not been playing much of the season. Aguero's a very good striker. And Sterling, well, you know, as long as he doesn't dive in the box, I think, you know, it's a good 11, it's a good system. But actually, I think yet again, we're giving City too much credit. We're Manchester United. I think we can go there and win. And I think if we go there and win, ooh, you know what? Who knows? Who knows what happens for the rest of the season? There's a lot of people will be saying, well, you know, I'm this, I'm that, I don't know. And look, of course, the reality is, I mean, look, that's what I think our lineup should be on Sunday. That's the lineup for me. I think Juan Mata's got to play. As soon as we got that free kick, which, reminder alert, comes from Martial deciding to actually, you know, get a bit of space, I'm going to do something here, and then we get a free kick, and Mata, I had no doubt Mata was going to score it. It didn't ruin it because it was brilliant, but there was no expectation from me that he was going to miss that. I know Mata on the edge of the box, and we had one in the first half. He's just brilliant. He's got to play. I was disappointed Mata didn't play yesterday, and I was disappointed he got subbed off after 55 minutes against Bournemouth. Mata's got to play. Play him. He's got to play. I thought Lingard was poor anyway. If you play Lingard, you're playing him for his legs to be defensive. Play Mata. Let's try and do a bit of damage. Obviously, Martial's got to play. I think Sanchez has got to play through the middle. And Herrera's got to come in the midfield. Yes, Fellaini's back. And, you know, the refreshing thing about Fellaini is that look, I'd still chuck him in the ocean tomorrow. And I know that's not very popular because, you know, Foot Locker's sold out of flip-flops and people are back on the Fellaini bandwagon, and that's fine. But what I have said over the last however many years, I think he's been here 6 years now, is we've never used Fellaini what he's all about. Last 10 minutes of a game, chuck him up front. What did we do last night? Last 10 minutes of a game, we chuck him up front and he did brilliantly well. It wasn't a surprise to me. I quite enjoyed it. It got us a winner. And, you know, that's where we should be using Fellaini. He certainly shouldn't be being used in the midfield anymore. And I think Herrera's got to play. I mean, I'd like to see Fred playing. I think some of us would. But I'm more than happy to see Herrera. I mean, Matic was crap, wasn't he, last night? Let's be honest. I mean, look, none of us, no United fan, is blind to the fact that if Juventus had took their many, many chances, we would have been out of that game embarrassed. And a lot of you lot would be going, get Mourinho out, he's an embarrassment. But that didn't happen. They didn't take their chances. And as I've said to numerous people today, I almost feel like copywriting this statement. Winners take their chances and winners play to the last minute. United, over the last few weeks, against Newcastle, against Bournemouth, against Juventus, against Chelsea, well, with Chelsea not so much, because we didn't play to the last minute there. But a lot of games and a lot of our wins over the last few weeks have been because we've taken our chances and we've played to the last minute. So, I'm sorry, Juventus, take the L. And I love Juventus, I think they're a fantastic club. But, you know, yes, you had loads of chances, but you don't get awarded goals for the amount of chances you had. You get awarded goals for putting it in the goal. And we did that twice, and you didn't. And we won the game. And that's how it goes. And on another day, yes, you probably would have beaten us. But sometimes you get one day to do it, and if you don't do it, you don't do it. So I don't really buy into that. But I do buy into the fact that we've got to flip this positivity into some consistency. I don't want to. I'm tired, as I said last night, we're seeing United go 1-0 down, and then Mourinho decides to go for it. With Manchester United, you've got to get. He's halfway there. Many of us don't believe Mourinho can change, but he actually is halfway there. He's just got to do it from minute one. Instead of like trying his rubbish tactics, and then we go behind, and then he's forced to go for it. He's just got to take that final step, and it's a massive step. It's a massive step, and I don't know whether he'll ever do it. But at the moment, we're like halfway there. We're so close because he's using his rubbish, boring, negative tactics like he did against Juventus last night, where we were slow with the ball. Then we go behind, like we did against Bournemouth, like we did against Chelsea, like we did against Newcastle. And he suddenly goes, let's go for it. And then we become the team we can be. We've got to do it in minute one. Because what I would say is, we can't continue doing this. It's very, very exciting. But at some point, you can't keep going behind and coming back and winning. You just can't do that. At some point, somebody will take their chances and the game will be gone. And so we've got to change slightly. He's just got to take that last step. And it'll be so frustrating if he never does. It'll be so frustrating if Mourinho never does it. Because what we will say is, unlike with Van Gaal and Moyes, we'll go, they just weren't right for Manchester United, they got it wrong. With Mourinho, we'll go, yeah, maybe he wasn't right for United, he deserved to be sacked or moved on or whatever. But he actually had a period of time where he got very, very close to what we need to be. And we're very, very close to do it. He's got to resist bringing Lukaku back into the team. He's got to resist bringing Fellaini into the midfield. He's got to look at that Matic situation and realise that that is a weak link in our team. And he's got to strengthen the right-hand side. And if he does those things and keeps either Sanchez or Rashford up front, which I think is something for the international break, because I don't believe he'll do that. But we're so close. We can sniff it. We can smell it. We're so close to being what we want to be. And I tell you what, if we do it, you know, I don't believe we can win the title this year, even if we beat Man City. But top four, I'll take some of that. Thanks for the contribution, Aaron Basker. Really appreciate that. But look, let's talk about Man City at the weekend, because it is a tough game. They are 9 points clear of us. They've got a system that they play confident. You know, in contrast to us, they create a lot of chances and they don't concede many goals. We don't create many chances and we score we concede quite a lot of goals at the moment. They have got a philosophy, they have got a formation, and they play it week in, week out, no matter who there are. We don't do that. We're very adaptable to who we're going to play. I just hope that Mourinho approaches the Man City game like he did the Juventus game, because although we were struggling in that game in relation to creating chances, we certainly could never be accused of parking the bus, because we didn't park the bus. We tried to be defensive, but we also tried to be expansive in a very slow way. We must do that against Man City. You cannot park the bus against Man City. We did it a little bit in the first half back in April. They were 2-0 up. They could have been 3 or 4-0 up. We came back in the second half because we went for it. When we go for it, we cause problems for teams. When we sit back, we cause problems for ourselves. And again, if we sit back against City, we could get a good hiding. There is a big if to this question of I think we'll win on Sunday, because I think he knows he's almost at that point where he's going to pull a load of United fans back behind him. Already a lot of people are. That's fine. I ain't got an issue with that. It's a great time to be a United fan. But if he wins on Sunday with an international break ahead of him, he'll build so much momentum there that it will take him till May. It will take him through till May. So it's a massive opportunity. The Manchester United bubble at the moment, if it's a hot air balloon, it's flying. It's absolutely flying high. Unfortunately, there's a big spike coming up, and it's light blue. It's Man City. He's just got to blast a bit more power into that balloon and pop it over, push it over, because if it pops, it destroys everything we've done over the last few weeks, and we'll go into an international break feeling a little bit down for ourselves. Matthew Tucker says a Matic stunner is overdue. I mean, one of the things I did want to talk about tonight actually was the contrast between Pep Guardiola and Jose Mourinho, because there is one, obviously in their style and then the success that they've had. Because let's not forget, Pep came to Manchester City at the same time that Mourinho came to Manchester United. Now, I was going to defend Mourinho about this anyway. I was going to do a show about this at lunchtime, but because of the result yesterday and all the fan cams, I thought I just want to let them stay up and breathe and everyone be positive about that. I don't want to talk about the derby till tonight. So I didn't do it. So I thought I'd combine it on the show tonight. And you know what? A couple of notes that I took about this is that, and it's a brilliant time to do this, because I think if I'd said it yesterday, people would be like, get lost, Mourinho shit, this, that and the other. But because there's a bit of positivity around Mourinho, I think the thing I was going to say, well, actually, probably, hopefully, a few of you will get what I'm saying here, is that would I have wanted Pep over Mourinho at Manchester United? Look, I'm not going to lie, of course I would. I always said I didn't, but actually over the last sort of year I've said yes I would. His style of football suits United brilliantly. I'd love Pep to have come to United over Mourinho, and I think anybody would say that. But what I would say about Pep is a bit like the snobby boyfriend who, you know, when he's picking his girlfriend, he don't use any dating apps. He'll see somebody that he quite likes, and before he says, I'm taking you to Cafe Rouge and we're going to go and watch a movie, he says, actually, before we do any of that, I think I want to take you out, but we're going round to your house now before we do that. And you know, this girl that he's met in a pub or a club or whatever that he takes a fancy to, before he asks them out, he says, no, come on, we're going back to your house. She has to take him back to her house, meet the parents, have a look around, what car's on the drive, what's in daddy's bank account, what's the house look like, and if it's all fits and it's a big house and it's a lovely bank account and everything like that, then Pep says, yes, I'm going to take you to Cafe Rouge and we're going to have a good time. And you know what? And they do have a good time, because Pep's a culture vulture. He speaks a few languages. He can tell you everything about every wine on the wine list. He washes his pants every day. He irons his own shirts. He's a brilliant, brilliant boyfriend to have. But he's a snobby boyfriend because he'll only go with somebody who's absolutely got everything there in place. Mourinho is more of a lover. Mourinho, if he sees somebody in the club that he likes, he doesn't care if they're, on the dole or they love Jeremy Kyle and they live at home and they're from a previous relationship, they've got 10 kids. If Mourinho likes them, he's a passionate man and he will take them on a date and he will, make them feel like £100 million. He will buy them the shirt. He will make them great. Look at Porto. Look at Inter. Look at Chelsea. Mourinho is comparable to Pep. Pep plays the better football, but Mourinho is the more pure moral manager, which sounds ridiculous because the style of football, everyone wants Pep. But Pep doesn't do challenges. Pep goes for something that's there on a plate. There's not a lot of work to do. All he's got to do is get his tic-tacs out, roll them onto the pitch and say, right, go and do your thing. I ain't interested in rebuilding a club that's fallen on hard times. I'm not one of them people who thinks people below me, I'm going to help you and build you up. I want the best. I want the players. I want the checkbook. I want everything set up, and then I'll make you successful. Whereas Mourinho will go, well, yeah, sometimes I do. If you're rich, great. But actually, it doesn't matter to me if you drive a Vauxhall Astra. It doesn't matter to me if your dad's unemployed. I'll do all the hard work. I'll get us where we deserve to be because I think you're beautiful. That's what Mourinho's like. Or that's what he used to be like. So I've got a lot more respect for Mourinho than I have for Pep anyway, even though I want Mourinho out still because I just don't think he suits United's style of football-wise. He is a manager that will take a challenge. Pep won't take a challenge. Or he hasn't to this stage. He's had Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Man City. They're not a challenge. He took Bayern Munich when they just won the treble. They just won the Champions League. Barcelona, I don't need to tell you about their history. And Manchester City already won the leagues. I mean, the challenge with Man City is to win the Champions League. But hey, what? Is it a challenge when you've got owners, doing what they're up to, an absolutely endless source of wealth. So, on that one, I will defend Mourinho and say that, look, he took on a far, far harder challenge at Manchester United than Pep did. What Pep's done at Man City with his style of football comparable to Mourinho, obviously the praise goes to Pep. But what I'm saying is, in a long-winded way, any United fan, myself included, who says, I would have liked Pep to come to United, I don't think he ever would have come to United. And even if we had managed to kidnap him, tie him up, bring him to United and say, look, you're not leaving until you win us the title, I don't think he would have been able to do it. Because you know what? How is Pep going to play tiki-taka football with Fellaini, Phil Jones, Chris Smalling and all the other lot? This is what Mourinho inherited. And I think Mourinho, has had a bit of money. But Pep would have needed to absolutely just chuck everyone on the scrap heap apart from one or two players, Mata, for example, and totally rebuild a team. And Pep doesn't want challenges like that. So that's one very, very big thing that I would say about Pep is that he's not in for challenges. He really isn't, and Mourinho is. But look, I think that we normally on a Thursday night we have a Man City fan on. I mean, you can dream on. I'm not a magician. I can't magic Man City fans. There's not many of them. They're a rare breed, but they'll be even more rarer if Man City actually get done by FIFA, because they'll all be back supporting Chelsea. In fact, that's an interesting fact. This is absolute fact. I think it's from 2015, so it could even be bigger now. There was, I think it was a German paper. I tweeted it out earlier. Somebody did a research on fan bases and how they've increased over recent years, and Manchester City's fan base has increased since 2008 by 500%. 500%. It's not just doubled. It's what's five? Pentagoned. I don't know what it is, but 500% their fan base has gone up by. So if United's fan base was say 2 billion, if it goes up by 100%, it's 4 billion. So Man City, if their initial fan base was say 10, it's gone up to 50. That's massive. No, I'm joking. But 500% is a massive, the closest club to that I think was Chelsea with 80%. But that can't be right actually. If Man City's has gone up by 500%, then Chelsea's has gone down by 499, hasn't it? Let's be honest, because all Man City fans used to support Chelsea before 2008. But yeah, I mean, it just makes me laugh because obviously we're getting close to the derby now, so all the Man City fans start jumping on my Twitter feed calling me a Forest fan, which I just find hilarious because, that is, your fan base has gone up fivefold since you've had money, and you're calling me a Forest fan because I'm from Nottingham. Over 500%. So that means that 80% of your fan base never supported you, has only supported you for the last a few years. So Chelsea fans, maybe a few Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans who just got fed up. I don't know. But Martial last minute winner runs to celebrate with Jose CDL bro. Look, I'd pay for that. I'd absolutely pay for that. I think it'd be absolutely fantastic to see that happen. But look, I'm not from Manchester, by the way. So Manchester derby for me, the Liverpool game is always the bigger game. I'm sorry, but for Mancunians, I know the Manchester derby is massive, and the Manchester derby is massive to us non-Manchester fans. I don't like there to be a division there, but obviously, if you live in the place where you've got to go to work on Monday and face up to some of these fans, well, don't worry about the Man City fans. They don't live in Manchester. Actually, it's more tough for the London United fans, isn't it? Because that's where you're going to see all your Man City fans, but. Look, I think it's going to be a great game. I personally do think Man City, when they get tested, they bottle it. And what you cannot say about United at the moment, no matter what you think about the style of football, no matter what you think about, well, if and I do agree, if Bournemouth took their chances, if Juventus took their chances, then we would have lost both those games. I agree with that, but they didn't take those chances. And you know what? You know where I'm going to come with this. You cannot knock what United have at the moment, which is a never say die attitude, an ability to keep going, and an ability that when they go behind, they still keep believing. Those three things are they're enjoyable because the results we're getting, but they're also, not many clubs have it. You think about clubs when they play well and then they go behind, like Juventus yesterday. They went behind and all right for a few. As soon as we equalised, we go on and win the game. Their heads dropped. So that mentality from United is a very, very strong thing. I also feel that with Man City, and I'm not going to reference us here because although we did it to them a few weeks after, look at Man City. We're going to win the Champions League. Who was the English club that got to the Champions League final? Liverpool. Liverpool did them over two legs. for ability, work rate and passion. And when the going got tough, City sunk. And City have still got a lot of those same players. And also, a few weeks after that, I think it was a very short period of time after that, we go to the Etihad. You know, they were crying in that. They were crying in the Etihad there. You know, the handful of City fans, they were absolutely crying because this was biblical for them. This was historic. I mean, all right, the Aguero goal in the last minute to win the title was great, but this is a chance to win a title against Manchester United, to absolutely rub it in our face. You know, they're obsessed with us. They had this big opportunity to beat us at their own place and be awarded the Premier League. They're 2-0 up at half-time as well. Oh, this is brilliant. And who won? 3-2. We did. This is it with City. If you get at them and you're passionate, you beat them. I think teams like, you know, they can beat Huddersfield and Southampton as much as they like, but when you get at City, you can cause them problems. And I don't think that I think when you really get under their skin, they bottle it a bit. And I've just got a funny feeling that's exactly what's going to happen at the weekend with United, because at the moment, United, regardless of whether we're playing great football, regardless of whether we've been a bit lucky, regardless as if we're not creating many chances, we're cynical and we're taking our clinical when we're given chances. But we've got this, you know, look at the fact last night we beat Juventus 2-1 and we carried Pogba, we carried Matic, we carried Lingard. Luke Shaw didn't have a good game. You know, I love Pogba and Shaw. I love them. You know, I don't want to say a bad word against them, but what I would say is that they had very poor games last night. Lingard as well. Matic, like I said, was dreadful again. That's 4 very important players for us who we took to Turin, who didn't perform, and we still won 2-1. You know, even players that aren't playing well, there's still that unity and ability to graft. And, you know, I've heard a lot of people about Pogba today, and I tweeted it out as well. I think one of the most satisfying things last night, apart from winning, was that I knew for a fact from social media and doing the watch-along that we were 10 minutes away from Pogba getting a load of stick from United fans. And I was like, oh, God, obviously I didn't want that. But then 10 minutes later, we've won a game and people can't go in on Pogba. And, you know, Pogba did have a bad performance yesterday. Offensively, he tried a lot of things that didn't come off. But did his work rate stop? Did he stop tracking back? Did he stop putting tackles in? No. So, yeah, I think, you know, maybe Pogba had a bad game in relation to what you want him to do with his creativity and his driving runs and things like that. But he never stopped working. And I don't think, you know, even Matic, I've been very critical of, it's not like he downs tools and gets lazy. He's still trying hard. He's just not very good at the moment. So throughout the team, there's a real good effort level at the moment. And I think that's really, really, really important. Sinead Jones says Matic will get destroyed by Silva. Look, I'm not gonna lie. Please do drop a like on the video, by everybody. By the way, positivity around United at the moment. I think it's really important that we at least look. I'm more than happy to have the discussions on the international break about the future of United, what our best 11 is Mourinho the right man or not. But I don't really think that unless somebody wants me to in a minute, we really need to delve into that. You know what I think. I know what a lot of you think, and I'm more than happy if people are feeling positive. That's happy. I'm feeling happy as a Manchester United fan at the moment. But I think for these next few days, we just need to focus on this Manchester derby and stay united as a fan base. And look, you know, if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. If it goes wrong in a couple of months, it goes wrong. But for now, I want more of this. This is what I mean. This is what I was saying at the start of the show. We haven't had this for so long. To go and beat a team, a big team, away from home, and then to be able to sit there the day afterwards going, up yours, get out of my way, United fan coming through, yes I am, here I am, come on, bring it on, what you got? Oh, we were lucky. Oh, yeah, we were lucky, were we? What was lucky about our goals then? What was lucky about the fact that we scored 2 and they scored 1? Yeah, they missed their chances. Yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah, they did. Did they play to the 90th minute? No, we did. Did they take the chances? No, we did. Did we win the game? Yes, we did. So, you know, I love that. I want that to happen, and I want it to happen more. And today probably makes me a little bit frustrated more, really, because for 6 years, we should have been having this a lot more than we have. You know, that goes beyond Mourinho. It goes beyond the players. That goes up to the top, that does, because that goes down to the appointments they've made and, you know, the lack of money that they've thrown in comparative to what some clubs are doing. We have got the money to spend. So that frustrates me because we should have a lot more. And today I feel we haven't felt like this very much in 6 years. This is what we as United fans should feel a lot more. And that's why I want to enjoy it for the next few days. And I want it to continue after Man City as well, because you can have agendas, you can have thoughts and opinions on managers and players, but nothing tops this feeling. Nothing tops this feeling of being a Manchester United fan and feeling like this. You know, would I have wanted us to lose 6-0 to get Mourinho out last night? Or would I want to taste this feeling today? I want to taste this feeling today. I want this. This is what I want as a Manchester United fan, because this is what I'll remember. I don't remember Van Gaal being sacked, really. I don't remember Moyes being sacked. It needed to happen. But I will remember going to Juventus and winning 2-1. I'll remember that. That will be on my tick list of in future years. I'll go, remember that night? And that's what it's all about. That's what it is all about. So, yeah, look, Matic getting destroyed tomorrow. On Sunday. Look, at the moment, I will say this, and I've said it a few times. When I look at that United team there, he's not good enough. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. He could be good enough, and he could be good enough. But if it's Lingard and Fellaini, they're not good enough. That's 5 players out of 4. So, and Sanchez, if Lukaku's there, he's not good enough. If Lingard's there, I'm not totally convinced as a starting player. And if Fellaini's there, he's not good enough. So you've still got 6 positions potentially that need work. And regardless of whether we beat City on Sunday or not, we still need a player to come in here and play well. We need a player to come here and play well. And I don't think it's Valencia. And I don't think it will be Bailly in Mourinho's mind. So those 2 positions need to be filled. Maybe long term, that position needs to be filled. And that position definitely needs to be filled in the next 6 to 8 months, because he's getting worse and worse. So we're still away from where we need to be. But we just got to keep trying to keep this momentum going as long as possible. Because, as I said before, we are so close. We're so close. But we could be millions of miles away, if you know what I mean. What we're seeing when we're going behind at the moment in the last month is what we want to see from United. That go for it approach, that drive, passion and determination that's getting us over the line. We've not beaten anybody by any margin. We're beating people by 1 goal, but we're always coming from behind to do it. We're just doing it. But we've got to do it from minute 1. We've got to stop. Jose's got to stop doing what he wants to do, seeing it fail, then going to what we want to happen. What we need to happen is he needs to just bin this style of football that he's been successful with for years and years, because it's not relevant anymore, and he needs to go and do what he's doing when we go behind. And we're so close, because all he's got to do is do that. But is he willing to do that? It could be so close we can touch it, but Mourinho might just never ever want to do it. And like I said, when Lukaku's fit, he might put him back up front, and then we become less of a flowing team. When Fellaini's fully fit, he might put him in as CDM again, and then we become a less flowing team. So it's all if, buts and maybes, as it has been all season with Jose. But in the short term, Lukaku won't be playing in the Manchester derby. That's a positive. I don't think he'd be so stupid as to put Fellaini in the midfield 3 when Herrera played so well against Juventus. So that's a positive. And Lingard had such a bad game against Juventus, and Mata came on and basically won us the game, that surely Mata will start. So surely that team there will be our team. And that, for me, at the moment, is probably our best 11 that we can put out, realistically. Obviously, Dalot at right back, but he's not been fit. Obviously, Eric Bailly instead of Smalling, but Smalling's done okay, and Eric Bailly's not been given opportunities. And obviously, I'd get Matic out of the team, but that's not going to happen as well. So, my score prediction, I think if you want to go for a safe bet, I think 1-1. I do think 1-1. And that wouldn't be terrible for us. But you know what? I'm greedy. I'm greedy because if we draw against Man City, we're going to drop places. We're going to lose points because I think Liverpool have got an easy game. Arsenal have got an easy game. So even a draw is a good result. But because we are, let's not forget, in the league, we are playing catch-up now. 3 points on Sunday would be so good because 1, we sit City down. 2, we get 3 points and maintain momentum. And 3, who knows what's going to happen then, So I think the sensible person will say 1-1. I don't want to be sensible. I want to win. So I'm going to say Manchester United 3, Manchester City 1. I don't see us losing this game. We can lose this game. And, I hate to put the pressure on Jose, but it is on him on how he approaches it. But I think we're going to win. Virgil Hainsey says, when Matic headed to the reserves, hashtag, when's Matic heading to the reserves? Hashtag Schweini31. And Bjorn Lundberg says, Pogba tries difficult stuff when he needs to keep it simple. That's why his talent is world class, but his mind is mediocre. Still a lot to learn. Yes, I would agree with that. Please do drop a like on the video, everybody. It'll be nice to get to 500 likes while we are live. I've just lost my live comments for a moment there. Remember, we're also on the road to, not Damascus, we're on the road to 300,000 subscribers. I think we're getting very, very, very close to it, in fact. So make sure, if you haven't ever subscribed in your time as watching United stand, please do subscribe in the bottom right-hand corner, because we're getting very, very close to it. And, you know, there's an outside chance that if things go our way on Sunday, we may well do it on Sunday. So subscribe, share the video. It's only for a couple of days. You've been fantastic anyway throughout the time we've been doing this, but 300,000 subscribers is a massive, massive achievement for us all as a community. And as I said yesterday, look, you know, the fan cams are up. Flex was out there watching the game. The fan cams are up on the channel if you've not watched them. United fans over there in Turin. I think we were the only United fan channel out there, you know, so that is because of you lot. You know, as I said last night on the watch along, we started off with, you know, 10 people watching us on a Sunday night 4 years ago, and now look, we've got this amazing community. We've got Flex out there doing fan cams, going out all around Europe because of the support that you give us. So a big, big thanks to all you lot, and you know, just share the videos, subscribe, and let's go on to the next big thing. But I'm confident. I think we're going to win this game. I do. I really do think we're going to win it. I think the momentum's with us. I don't think Man City are all that if you get at them, and I think that they're a bit weak if you do get at them. So look, confidence before a fall, la. But you know what? This is not coming off the back of losing to West Ham. This is coming off the back of some really good results. And all right, the performances have been a bit mixed. But when we go behind and we go for it, we're a really good team. It's when we're level and we sit back and we don't go for it, we're a pretty poor team. If we go to Man City, if we go to Man City on Sunday and do what we did against Juventus when it was like 0-0, the game could be gone. It could be 3 or 4-0 and we're gone. You know, at some point we're going to play somebody who do take their chances, and it's too big a task to come back. We've got to play on the front foot from minute one, and I think Mourinho will do that. I think he will do that because I think he'll be thinking exactly the same as you lot. When we go for it, we play really well and we're winning games. It's that bit where we're 0-0 and we're doing this pragmatic shit. Stop doing it. Go for it, and I think that's what he will. Couple of things. The game's on Sunday, so watch along. Flex will be there, fan cams and all that lot. Tomorrow, Jose Mourinho's doing his press conference at 10 o'clock again in the morning, which is early. It's normally lunchtime, 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So we will be live with his press conference reaction just after 10 o'clock. You can join us for that. And 8 o'clock tomorrow night live. Obviously, Friday night live is normally a lot more Q&A, interacting with the live comments, because we have got the Skype shows back now. Big week for the United stand, big week for United. Monday night Skype was back this week. And after the game yesterday, after my match reaction, we were taking your calls as well, which is a massive thing to have back on the show. So loads to be getting involved within. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock will be the Q&A. I know some of you've got work and school and everything tomorrow, but I will be live just after 10 o'clock with the Mourinho press conference. If you can't watch it live, have a pop in and we'll see what he's going to say. I think it's going to be a very good Mourinho press conference because the pressure's off. What's he going to say? I'd love to see, you know, what we saw with Mourinho yesterday where he went like that. I didn't like it. Paul Scholes didn't like it because we're old school. Bobby Charlton didn't like Mourinho because he didn't want that sort of thing. I don't like it when Mourinho makes it about him. But when I was reading about it, so many people did love it because they were like, that's the Mourinho we thought we were getting. And I was like, yeah, they're right, actually. That is the Mourinho we thought we were getting. I'll tell you what I'd love to see from Mourinho now. Go in on City. Go in on Pep. This is what we thought you were going to do when you came to the club, and we never got that. Go in on Pep on your press conference. Dig in on City in your press conference. Come on, let's start building that, because I tell you what, that could be the last thing that you need to smash down to really start making people think, maybe he can do this. Maybe he can do the impossible and turn this around. Get in on Pep. That's what I want to say. Mirror Jeremy would love to see Pereira v City. A boy can dream. Yeah, thanks for that, Mirror Jeremy. I think you are dreaming. And Jamie O'Hare says bring on Sunday. But I liked it, loved it when he trolls the opposition, says Michael Rose. Each their own, each their own. And you tell you what, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Thanks everyone who's dropped a like on the video. And you know what I'm really grateful for as well? We didn't even have to have the conversation whether you're Mourinho in or Mourinho out. And that was my intention from the start of this video. And we've had 35 minutes of talking about loads and loads of things. And we've not discussed that, which I think is brilliant. Because all I wanted to do today was just enjoy being a Manchester United fan. The bigger picture will take care of itself. But this is why we support Manchester United. For days like today, where everyone else is moaning and bitter and melting down. And I can tell you as somebody into their 30s, that this is what it was like for most of the time under Sir Alex Ferguson. Every day, people moaning about United because we've gone and got a result, It's great. Breathe it in. It's called a W. Thanks for watching. Speak to you tomorrow. Early doors, 10 a.m. Press conference, reaction, Jose Mourinho.